Hello, my name is Matthew Kang. In this training video, I'm going to talk about the new safeguard rule from the FTC and how it's going to affect your business. There's a deadline of December 9th that requires all CPAs, accounting firm, and financial advisor, including auto dealers and many other financial institutions, to enact security measure to protect their client information. So that being said, my goal here is to help you understand, the information and what you need to do in order to get there. So let me start by just showing you, if you haven't seen it, the website where you can get more detail. So here, as you can see, is the FTC website, and it talks about all the rules. It spells out a lot of what you need to know. But my goal here is, because it's a very sensitive timeline, I'm going to share with you, the new requirements. Most of this stuff, you have to decide what you can do, whether you can implement it in-house or you may need to get an outside consultant. So let me start with the security requirements. As you can see, they cover a lot of things, but to save you time, we're going to talk about what their requirements are. So part of that is, one is they want you to have a designated individual to probably a professional to monitor and manage your cybersecurity program. Then conduct ongoing security risk assessment. Because as you know, security is an ongoing threat, and it's not something that you can just set and forget it. Following that is, you have to make sure that you identify your risk and make sure you understand all the security controls that you have in place. So for example, some of this stuff, whether determine, do you have encryption set up on your network? Do you know who's accessing your data? And whether there's logs that you're conducting that. Then who is also, logging onto your application, such as your email system, whether your accounting software. Do you have multi-factor authentication enabled, or every time you log onto your email, is there a code that's being prompted for you on your phone to acknowledge for you to complete the login? Along with that is that, are you constantly monitoring and testing your system? Who is helping you? And if you're training your staff on cybersecurity awareness, what they need to do, how do they detect whether they are getting a phishing emails, or how to report that when there's a problem. Then you also have to have an incident response plan. In case, if something happens, what are you going to do to make sure that you know how to report it, who to notify, and if there's any ongoing investigation, what do you need to do to notify maybe the FBI or law enforcement? And lastly is, you have to also have an annual written report if you're, to notify the board of directors, or for small businesses, you may want to notify the senior officer in the company. Now, that being said, a lot of this stuff, you can try and implement this in-house, but most small businesses are already probably stretched very thin. They may not have the expertise or the resource to assess, implement, and manage all this stuff, all the security requirement in-house on top of what they do on a day-to-day basis. So the security requirements are constantly changing. What used to be, worked yesterday or last year does not meet the ongoing security threat today. So you can decide if you want to handle it internally, or you want to outsource to a security provider like eSudo, who's in the business of managing technology and security for the last 20 years.